Okay, hello everyone. Good afternoon, good evening to you all. So thank you for joining us today as well. So it is the second day that we are, our second day of our Manila Catholic Youth Forum 2025, entitled Asian Youth Engagement for a Synodal Church, Jubilee Pilgrim Accord. So once again, I would like to welcome you all, and then I just want to remind you all, if you have not done yet, please rename yourself with the name and followed by the country. So before we jump into the second day of our forum, let me invite one of our participants now to lead us into a prayer. I will be doing the screen sharing. Let's all join our hands together for prayer of peace. So this prayer of peace is inspired by the word of Pope Leo XIV, adopted on June 14, 2025. Titi, can you please facilitate this prayer?
Yeah, sure. Thank you. Okay. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit, and God of peace and justice, you hear the cries of your children in Iran, Israel, Gaza, and all across the world. Your church is torn by sorrow at the sound of war. For you have created every life with dignity, not for destruction. At this delicate hour, we echo the voice of Pope Leo XIV. Let us never grow accustomed to war, for war is always a defeat, while peace loses nothing and offers everything. Lord, renew in all hearts, especially in leaders, the gift of responsibility and reason. Let no nation ever threaten the existence of another. May every path chosen be one of dialogue, not domination, of encounter, not escalation. Grant us the courage to build a world free from the threat of nuclear weapons, a world anchored in justice, fraternity, and the common good. Inspire reconciliation where there is hatred, and mutual security where there is fear. May your spirit guide Israel and Iran to seek not vengeance, but understanding, not arms, but agreements, not death, but life. Make us instruments of your peace, that together we may walk toward a future where swords are turned into plowshares, and every people lives in safety and hope. Through Christ our Lord. Amen.
Amen. Okay, as we have surpassed the first day of our forum yesterday, I just want to give you a quick recap of what we have done yesterday. So we had our speakers and then we had our panelists. So from their discussions, from their sharing, we got to know that at the Catholic Youth Forum 2025, we as the Catholic youth leaders and mission partners from across Asia gathered virtually to reflect on our shared journey of faith, service, and commitment in the spirit of Catholic Jubilee Year 2025, entitled Pilgrims of Hope. Despite being physically apart, we came together in solidarity to listen, share, and discern the path forward for youth people, the young people in the church. We reflected deeply on our roles within the church, recognizing the vital contributions we make through shared leadership, community engagement, and prophetic action. Through powerful insights and testimonies that we got from our speakers and panelists, we explored what it means to be in synodality, especially in the context of Asia, embracing our diversity while working together in dialogue and mutual support. Guided by the message of Pope Francis, particularly in Laudato Si, we affirmed our call to ecological responsibility and social justice. We share the challenges we face, from marginalization and lack of institutional support to the broader socio-political crisis affecting our communities, but also the creative and courageous ways we are responding. We were inspired by personal encounters with Pope Francis and by another stories. Together, we celebrated the ongoing effort of our youth movements, such as IF Asia, IF, and International Youth Training Center, that foster faith, justice, and intercultural solidarity across the region. This forum renewed our commitment to work together as a synodal church, building a future rooted in hope, justice, and care of creation. So let me introduce and give understanding about what we are going to do, how the forum of today gonna take place. The first, so we will be having the presentations and on Manila Declaration. So it's a drafted declaration that we came off with the inputs of and the sharings that we had from yesterday's forum. So which will be presented by Bertha Sampanu. And then after that one, we will be going to different breakout rooms. We will be having thematic discussions. So we'll be divided in different groups and we will be facilitated by our members. Then we will come back, we will have some sharing, and then we will go for another round of discussions, which will also be facilitated by our team members, so we can have the orientation and some other briefing later when we before we go for the group discussions. Then after the second round of discussion, we will come back again to the main room, and then we will have some group sharing done by our group representatives, moderators. Then we will go for plenary reflections on the declarations. So if you have any reflections, if you have any inputs and kind of like insights, you are welcome to do so during that one. We'll be drafting, we'll be first saying some next steps and strategic roadmap for our youth engagement, for our youth in Asia especially. And then we'll be having the closing and then a kind of like the final closing group photo together with all the participants. So now let me introduce, let me invite Ms. Betha Sampanu to present us the declarations that we have drafted, aligning with the inputs and sharing by our speakers and other sharings that we had from opening remarks and youth panels.
Okay, hi everyone. Thank you for joining again. And so, yes, as briefly mentioned by Suman about our agenda today, and as you follow the opening remarks about the background and what will be the outcome from our forum, this Catholic Youth Forum. So as we have zero draft, and yesterday when we follow and join the forum day one, the sharing the presentation from our speakers from the different background and different topics. And then when we come to the youth panelists that they share their challenges and hope for World Youth Day, but also for the church. So we come into this first draft, and as an overview, we are going to review this at the same time, alongside together for the session. We will share this link so you can access and give your comment if you have any inputs, but it will be also be discussed during our plenary. And this still open until July 1st also for some of the comments or inputs for the declaration as collective organizations, institutions, individuals who come to this forum. So yes, this we call the Asian Catholic Youth Commitment for a Synodal Church and Jubilee Pilgrimage of Hope. We adopted at the Catholic Youth Forum, Manila. Well, we have virtually from yesterday and today, so 27 to 28 June 2025. As in the table of contents, we have the introduction, the brief about the background of the forum, and then share as the journey from Chiang Mai to Thailand, a bit about of the presentation shared by Mr. Anselmo yesterday during his opening remarks, and then the emerging challenges and opportunities that we listened together and we shared yesterday, and then about the Synodal Church with youth, and the fifth call for action into justice, peace, and care of creation. The first on social advocacy and campaign, and then about the Pax Jubilee actions that we start 2025 to road to World Youth Day 2027, and then the synodal process that 2025 to 2028, and then focus on World Youth Day, so 2027, then the conclusion and annex. So when it comes to the introductions, this a bit about participants, how we gather virtually in prayer. Let me make it bigger so you can also read it. Yes, this is a paragraph for introduction part, share about the background and some of the documents that we are inspired to come up with these draft declarations, and then come into the journey from Chiang Mai from July 2023 as we have our first youth forum, assembly of the IMCS Romana, to now that we together as a collective group with other organizations, with all of you, join us. In the second part, we call this journey from Chiang Mai 2023 to Manila 2025. That mentioning about the key events, including some of the previous forum, like Catholic Peace Forum in Nagasaki in 2024, in Rome in 2024 before the private audience with His Holiness Pope Francis, and then in Geneva, in Assisi recently, June 9 to 11, 2025, where together with other organizations such as the ICMICA, Pax Christi, and IYCS, and also the International Youth Training Center. And our recent Catholic Civic Forum in Chiang Mai, the Global Governance Forum, and the Bangkok Catholic Social Forum. So again, we'll offer a review in general, and we'll share the link. So later during the group discussion, when we are having a discussion in the small group, this whole idea, some of the inputs you have, we can have it during the plenary to add into these declarations. And then in the third part, we have the challenges and opportunity. So based on the sharing yesterday and some of the presentations, both we come up into this, some of the point, how we recognize the growing crisis facing our generations. And then also we see the hope of ongoing and future opportunities for the youth. And when it comes into the fourth section, fourth point, we talk about, or we state the Synodal Church with youth. Some of the that we affirm our desire for a church that listens, walks with, and empowers youth. So we inspired by Synod on Synodality 2021 to 2024. We learned that these are 5 points that we put together with the in terms of actions that we put as well. And then in the fifth point, it's the call for actions. Each of us has our advocacy, our campaign, and things that we do at the grassroots, at the parish, local level, at the movement and organizations in the different way to build the justice, peace and peace world, and then also care for creation. So rooted in the gospel and Catholic social teaching, we commit to these 4 points. And then followed by that 4 commitment, we come into the bigger, more focus on social and campaign, into the several decisions making of or forum that as well mentioned during the opening remarks. And we a bit share about our participations as youth in terms of social advocacy and campaign. And when we look, and we are now at the Pax Jubilee year, so what is our actions as an IMCS? We launched our Pax Jubilee campaign aligned with Pope Francis' message on last fourth day of peace on January 2025, and then also the Assisi appeal for peace June 11th. So we also mention here together with all of you as an individual and organization and institutional. And then about the synodal process, as we mentioned in the previous paragraph about the synod 2021 to 2024. And so now, as we think in the future of or upcoming the process of the synodal, so we mentioned from 2025 to 2027. And of course, about the World Youth Day in Seoul 2027, how our as a youth organization, as individual and community, we commit to this 4th way of actions in this declaration. And then we have the conclusion in the 6 points. So this is the overview of Manila Declarations that we draft according or based on the sharing the presentations yesterday. And yeah, hopefully during the group discussion, we all can come up with a very comprehensive one that we can add, or you can add some inputs that we haven't put it here yet. So during the plenary, we can add that one. Yeah, I think this is about the declarations. I'll share in the chat box for your review. Thank you. Over to you, Suman.
Okay, thank you so much, Bertha, for giving us and briefing about the Manila Catholic Forum Declaration. So I hope that we will have more time to reflect on this and then have our input sharing during our discussion time, and even later in our kind of like a plenary session. Okay, so yeah, as I mentioned before earlier as well, so now we will be divided into different groups for our next group discussions. So there has been different themes that we will be discussing, that we will be having as the topics for our discussions in different groups. So you will be divided into 5 different groups according to the themes. And then let me just give you a kind of short orientation on what are those groups and how are we going to divide it on those groups. So the first round of discussion, it will be for 40 minutes. So you will be sending you into different breakout rooms. So there are different 5 different groups, thematic groups that we will be having for our discussion. First is ecology and care of creation. The second, we will be having justice, peace, and human rights. Third, faith, synodality, and mission. Fourth group will be on youth leadership and participation in church and society. And the last, digital culture and global solidarity. So these are the groups that we came up with as the theme, because these are the major points that we got from our sharings of different speakers and panelists from yesterday. So these are the groups we will be divided. So there are certain guiding questions for your discussion as well. So you can have your discussion on what are the most urgent issues or realities young people face today in this area in terms of your theme, in terms of the particular theme that your group is assigned to. And then the second, we will have discussion on how are young Catholics already engaging or leading in this area, especially when it comes to the second question. So we'll be talking more about actions, our engagement, our commitment as a Catholic individual or as a part of different groups, different organizations that we. And then from the third is what are the gaps, challenges, and opportunities for youth engagement? And in the later part, we will be having the discussion on what concrete actions or commitments can we propose as part of our regional youth action plan. As you know that we are drafting this declaration, which will also serve as a roadmap for us how we will be proceeding, accompanying our youth in the region. Okay. So is there any confusions? Is there anything clarification you need? Otherwise, I will ask the technical team to facilitate us in the breakout rooms. Before you go for breakout rooms, please make sure you have the questions, okay? So you can take a screenshot or a group facilitator will also facilitate you with these questions later.
Suman, so we will open the breakout rooms. It's you can choose which thematics you want to contribute or you want to join. So the breakout rooms will be ready when it's open. You may see on your bottom, if you are joining from laptop, then there will be an options for breakout rooms. But if you are joining from phone, you can see on the right, on the left, on the upper side, click, then choose the groups that you want to join. Yeah. Okay. Shall we go now the breakout rooms, Suman?
Okay, yeah.
Okay. So again, we have 40 minutes. It's count when I click the open room. So you may choose again the room, the thematics group that you want to contribute or discuss with. Okay, thank you. Now you may join the breakout room.
Okay, hello everyone. Welcome back to the main session room. Hope you had a wonderful time discussing and hearing to one another sharing. So let's keep it quick for the presentations of our sharing of different inputs that we had from our friends in the breakout room. So we had 5 different groups. I'm not naming any group for now or any volunteers of different groups. Who wants to go first? Any volunteers? Okay, then let me just point it out some of the groups. Okay, so I'm just going randomly. Can we have the sharing from Faith, Synodality, and Mission Group? Anyone from that group? Okay. Hi, Leo.
Okay, beautiful. All right. Can you all hear me?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
So the group that I was in with Tutti and with and the 4 questions. So the urgent issues and realities, young Catholics engaging in those gaps, challenges and opportunities, and concrete actions or commitments. So the first point on urgent issues and realities, we've talked a lot about Nepal, and in particular, sort of how there are particular legal challenges in that region, including restrictions on proselytism and other difficult resource management and access problems. So there are areas where it's difficult to reach out, and I have a I had a similar experience here in Australia with sort of regional communities in Australia. Young Catholics in Nepal seem to be very engaged in trying to address those problems by going out, of course, restrictions from proselytism, and also the fact that Catholics are willing to work with more downtrodden people because of the preferential option for the poor. All of that prevents closer access to different communities, but through their witness primarily. For example, by participating in volunteer schemes, working to address inequalities, gender inequalities, such as access to menstrual products, and all of those different fields. That's how they're sort of engaging with that in the mission, in their mission, and that mission is really defined by the fact that they're restricted in so many other different ways. The challenges that were sort of outlined were that all of these different groups, including sort of clergy, students, outsiders, all of them have their own sort of horses in the race. And when it comes to conveying the message of the church from up above to the people down below, there are many different barriers between the two. There's a language barrier, there's an education barrier, there's even just a basic health and necessities barrier. So when it comes to those, continuing participation by the clergy, and continuing participation in terms of a synodal church, all of that seems necessary on those grounds. And so those actions and commitments as part of the youth action plan would seem to congregate around that yes, we do want to have closer working groups between clergy, between young people, so that they can exchange ideas, but also show each other by their witness how these different groups ought to be operating. Right. That's pretty much everything, but thank you.
Okay, thank you, Leo, and the entire group for your reflections. Okay, so I'm just keep going for now because of the time constraints as well. So can we have the next group sharing from, okay, let's say digital culture and global solidarity. Anyone from that group, please? Hello, anyone from that group? Okay, then shall we have the next group sharing from ecology and care of creation group?
Hello everyone, I'm Nirumai Tamang from Nepal, currently an intern in IYTC, and yeah, I'll be presenting on the group discussion we had in ecology and care of creation. So for the first question about the most urgent issues and realities that young people face today in our areas, like we had participants from Indonesia, Bangladesh, India, and Nepal. So combinedly, yeah, our answers are the most urgent issues are for the youth are environmental anxiety due to the worsening climate crisis and lack of urgent action, and destruction of ecosystems such as mining in Raja Ampat, causing long-term harm to biodiversity in Indonesia, and lack of early ecological education, especially in schools and youth formation in Bangladesh, and disconnection between faith and ecology,
in Catholic education and youth programs, and loss of traditional ecological knowledge and culture, weakening the bond between communities and natures. And when we were talking about like how the young Catholic youths are engaging or leading in this area, in their own respective places, we had the answers like in their areas, youth leadership training programs on climate justice and ecological advocacy are taking place. And in Bangladesh and Nepal, the tree planting initiative as part of reforestation and community greening effort has been carried on. And in Nepal, like IMCS Nepal is leading a sustainable project like producing reusable menstruation pad and also the diapers for babies, promoting eco-friendly alternatives and reducing waste. And when it comes to talk about the gaps, challenges, or opportunities for youth engagement, it will be like for the young people, those who are speaking out against government actions, like it has been quite difficult and sensitive in most of the countries, especially in Asia's. And there is also communication gap, lack of mentorship, and limited follow-up in ecological efforts. And youth are not included in decision like making things in churches and parishes, and most of the work and the projects are done outside the church due to its unopenness in youth ideas. And in Popa, the church led by the bishop has spoken out with deep concern about the environmental destructions. Yeah, those are some of the challenges or the opportunities for youth engagement. And for the concrete actions and commitment, for our regional youth action plan, we have some few suggestions, like promote local ecological initiatives such as tree planting, waste reduction, and sustainable living projects, and organize seminars and workshops on ecological justice, integrated with leadership training with consistent follow-up, and also commit to caring for the environment in daily life and within our communities. And the last one is use social media to raise awareness and inspire others to take action for protection of creation. So this is the discussion of our group. Yeah, thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, Ecology and Care of Creation Group. So shall we have the next sharing from Youth Leadership and Participation in Church and Society? Anyone from that group? Vicky, are you going to share? Please unmute yourself.
Yeah. Hello everyone. I'm Ricky Clancy from Bangladesh Catholic Student Movement, Bangladesh, and I'm representing Group 4, the Youth Leadership and the Youth Leadership and Participation in a Church and Society. So the first question is, what are the most urgent issues or realities young people face today in this area? So from our group discussion, we got that the perspective, the youth, the old are not getting the perspective of the youth, and they cannot understand that what youth are going to do, and the issue that we are going through, and they reject the ideas of youth and their needs from youth, and the youth are facing this kind of like criticism from the elders of the parish and of the locality. And the next question is, how are young Catholics already engaging or leading in this area? So like like youths all are actively participate this kind of youth events, and IMCS is doing the thing what is going on, and this is the great initiatives for the youths, and what we all are going through is the engagement, and it's the great example of this particular point. And in the root level of the local area, according to this, the representatives of the seniors connect to the unit based or the root level parish based youths through this process. So like in this kind of process, they all are engaged together. And the third question is, what are the gaps, challenges, or opportunities for youth engagement? So there are some challenges, though, that is the youths don't the interest to come to the church. They just come and do the old tradition, like they don't listen uh, the verse from the Bibles, and they don't relate the homily what priest shared, and they just traditionally taking the communions and all. So how can we like get rid of that? We can create awareness from the family. Like family can uh, play a great role to get rid of this particular points. And the opportunity is going to church and grab and to involve all the sectors and how a church run, and involve all the activities what is church going through. And like one more thing is that we have to focus on the formations by our religious persons and the catechist and all and so on. And we have to taking seriously the church and our faith also. So the fourth question is, what concrete action or commitments can we propose as part of our regional youth action plan? So from the previous three questions, we can get the answer, and the answer could be the elder should listen the youths, what's their perspective and what's their opinions, what's their ideas to improve the church, like improve the church ideas and church build up ideas. And we have to connect the Bible, connect the Lord to involve appropriately. And one more thing is that we don't have the silly ideas to execute. We have to strongly believe that what we are going to do or what we are going to execute is fruitful, and we have to make that fruitful so that the seniors and the elders or the parish priest or the religious person they can support us. And like there are some skill development sectors should be involved to grow to make the youth grow. That is, create some platform, and it should be done by us to raise our voice and to share our ideas and opinions. And the skill development ideas, like how we can narrate and how we can speech and how we can share our opinions, and the cultural event can also grow our youth mentality and to give the support to contribute the church. So yeah, thanks all.
Okay, thank you so much, Ricky, for sharing your group reflection. So, if possible, can you please type your notes? If you have already typed it, please share it with us in the chat box or personally to the organizing committee. Okay, thank you so much. So, we have, I think, two more remaining groups. So, let's have a brief sharing from those two groups. Do we have anyone from Peace, Justice, and Human Rights Group?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, thank you. Hello everyone, my name is Orko Samunsku from Bangladesh and I'm currently serving as a media person for IYTC. So I'm representing Justice, Peace and Human Rights groups. So in our group discussion, we had participants from various countries, including Indonesia, Bangladesh, India, Papua New Guinea, Malaysia, and the Philippines. If I miss some country, please raise a noise. Yeah, I will just read it out, our main points from our group discussion. The first one was, what problems are youth facing today? So points are low interest in charge and justice program, gender-based violence and online abuse, especially towards girls, loss of culture and language among indigenous youth, gap between generations, different values and ways of thinking, um, youth stressed about the future, more focus on jobs and jobs than society. Then second question was, how are young Catholics already helping? So young Catholic are helping, no, using social media, peace building and interfaith work, organizing cultural events and language classes, training and advocacy work by the youth leaders, helping refugees, people with HIV and promoting justice, doing school and community educational program. And third was, what challenges and chance are there? Challenges, not enough training on Catholic social teaching, youth not taken seriously by adults, lack of money or fund for youth projects, poor coordinations between national youth groups. Some, some youth are shy or not interested in this kind of programs or things. And opportunities, digital tools makes it easier to connect and advocate. Churches, NGOs, and alumni are more open to support youth. Many youth are ready to help if given trust and training. And the fourth question was, what action can we make together? So points are, hold dialogue between youth and church leaders, build a regional youth justice network for sharing and support, straighten national youth offices and movement, make easy training on Catholic social teaching and human rights, support youth to advocate locally and globally, bring more education and outreach to school and poor communities, invite youth to join regional leadership program. Yeah, that's all. Thank you for listening. Yeah, thank you.
Okay. Thank you so much, Olgo, for sharing your group's reflections. So, do we have anyone from Digital Divide group, or if no one is there to kind of open up, express, then you can just type it in the chat box. Now, Bodhi, are you from that group?
I'll
Okay.
share what we
Okay.
the group. When it comes to the digital culture and global solidarity, we discussed things like Father Giorgio mentioned about the Iran-Israel war and Ukraine war, and as a globalized world, we all are we all get that information through the media, but we have lack of responses, urgent responses for those things, and also sister explained about the situation, and youth are more immediate response give for the local situations, but not for the global situations. Everything and everybody is digitalized, and as a result of that, they have less interpersonal relationships. And one of our group member explained about this AI technology, and as a result of this AI technology, youth are facing a difficulty of choosing what is real and what is fake. And also, as all of us are in a digitalized world, we watchers, and we want to see the things and get videos and upload it in social media, not for doing something for the situation, to help them or do actions for that particular incident. And also, especially youth are facing what to choose, what not to choose, the difficulty of what to choose and what not to choose. For these type of challenges and difficulties and issues, as global movements, our responsibility to advocate youth more and more about these global issues and global challenges, especially peace and climate changes, and also what is our personal responsibility on these global issues. This should be people should be more aware about these things, especially youth. And as global movements, we have that responsibility to make them more aware of these situations. Yeah, that's what we explained. Briefly.
Okay, thank you so much, Navadi, for sharing your group reflection and inputs. I think we have all the groups covered from our first round of discussion we had on different thematics. So yeah, please drop your inputs and drop your sharing in the chat box so that we can go through again, for our reflections later. Because all these inputs, all this reflection will be helpful for us to revise the Manila Declaration that we are preparing profoundly. Okay, so this is the time that we go for the next round of discussion, but it's gonna be a different kind of discussion that we'll be having. So all the participants who are here will be divided into according to their region, like we have a different sub-regions today. So let me just share the screen. Okay, so so far, I think I got from my team that we are from South Asia, Southeast and Northeast Asia, Pacific and Oceania, and then we are keeping other regional groups into one common group. So, here are some of the topics and guiding questions that we will be having for our discussions. So I don't want to read it out thoroughly, but here are some of the, major gist of our guiding questions. So first we'll be discussing about particular context, here, because we are dividing into different sub-regional groups, and then we will be revising and then recollecting the inputs from our different groups in different thematic areas as well, and how does it manifest in your particular regions. And then if you have some best practices, some kind of models youth-led initiatives in order to address those issues in your particular region, you'll be talking and sharing about those as well. And then what collective actions can your region take over the next 1 or 2 years? So we are going a bit of long term for now, and then how can national movements collaborate and support each other across borders? So we are here we focus more on cross border, or let's say inter-regional collaborations and cooperations for addressing different issues that we see in our local context, regional context. And what recommendation will your region contribute to Manila Declarations and Jubilee Youth Action Plan that we have introduced to you at the beginning of this forum today? Okay, so I'll be posting these guiding questions in the chat box as well. But for now, Betha, can you facilitate us into the different groups? So for this groups, we will be having the time, 15 minutes of time for the reflection for the discussion in breakout rooms.
Okay, so same as the before. So in this round 2, we have divided into the several name of the group. We have South Asia, Southeast Asia, Northeast Asia, Pacific and Oceania, and then Africa. So kindly choose any breakout room where you are coming from, or you are reside there, or you are working with the youth in particular regions. So we have a time, and then as usual, there will be a reminder if the time's up for you to be back to main room with the sharing as a collective from each group. Okay, so I'll open the floor now. And you may join the breakout room. Thank you, and see you after a few minutes.
Okay, are we all back? Okay, hope you had a wonderful time in the breakout room. Okay, let's make it quick. Okay, shall we have the group reflection, the inputs sharing from, okay, which region we can have? Maybe Pacific and Oceania?
Sure. Hey, it's me again. Sorry for that. But yeah, myself and Martin were the only two people from Oceania. I'm from Australia. He's from Papua New Guinea. In terms of looking at those questions that we had today, it was how do those themes fit into our countries? You know, what models work? What are our collective actions? What international support can we provide? And then what sort of declarations we want to do. In terms of those themes, all of those, look, in Australia and in Papua New Guinea, from what I've taken, a lot of that is governed by the way that the bishops work and the way that those individual university groups at different universities ask for advice, right? So in Australia, each university asks for a chaplain, same thing in Papua New Guinea. In Papua New Guinea, at the very least, they've integrated a bit more closely with Asia, especially the Philippines, and with the initiatives that you've got there in the IMCS up north. In terms of the models, that university chaplaincy system seems to be working pretty well for both countries. It's a lot of the students who come together, they work together, and when they're big enough, they ask for a chaplain who's usually a religious, ordained religious sister or brother or a priest, and then that support allows them to sort of grow in faith, doctrinal support. The problem is that, of course, with this kind of system, a lot of that tends to sort of go in the pastoral direction rather than the action direction. So a lot of the students here in Australia, north of Papua New Guinea, don't necessarily have a lot of initiative. They have a lot more pastoral sort of care and tending that takes place in those contexts. So in terms of those collective actions, we're looking at maybe focusing on just increasing communication, because Australia was hit particularly hard by the sex abuse crisis in the 1990s and the early 2000s, along with the rest of the developed world. Papua New Guinea as well too has just been struggling just sort of in terms of being stuck between Australia and with the rest of Asia. So a lot of that is sort of being resolved now, because it's been a couple of years, and hopefully over the next 2 years, Martin actually proposed working closer with the rest of Oceania, Fiji, New Zealand, a couple of other places, making the Pacific in the Asia Pacific really sort of stand out on its own 2 legs. And in terms of supporting the other organizations across borders, it's mainly going to be trying our best to be the Pacific half of the Asia Pacific and contributing what we can in terms of support, in terms of direction from what is that needed from sort of the most sort of regional, the most far-flung parts of the church. And then when it comes to recommendations, it is primarily going to be about university support and interconnectedness between these different groups, which may have different baseline ideals and different leaders, but still should be under that jurisdiction of the same Catholic Church. I've rambled on for a bit there, but hopefully that covered everything. And yeah, myself and Martin, not too many, hopefully in the future, a few more. Cheers.
Okay, thank you, Leo, for sharing your group discussions and input. So thank you so much. And then yeah, as you can also paste the notes that you have in the chat box so that we can have the reference later. Okay, shall we have any someone from South Asia group, please.
My name is Nelisha Lobo. I'm from India. Answering the first question, in the context of youth leadership, groups have built a community very strong, where they actively engage in church, and it's uh, a strong bond for youth to have, and to have a similar base to come forward and work for the church as well as the community. Bringing in the ecological, climate changes have been an issue, but yet youth are very active to fight against it, and yet they need proper knowledge, but they are trying to bring forth various steps to preserve our nature, initiating eco-friendly projects. Uh, from Silent, I think youth are ready to engage, but again, there was an issue that they would need support from elders from the church. Answering the second question, involvement and youth engagement in church, that was the first point. Another was they spiritually engage. Youth nowadays, they just not go to have activities or fun as such, but they also try to engage in making their faith more stronger, as well as having a very spiritual bond among themselves, and being a youth, being more connected to God. Also visiting any sick people, or any other youth community involvement, hence caring for our own beings. Another point was youth forum to elect leaders and discuss issues, where the issues come forward with the strong minds regarding community. Hence, they are aware of the environment that they are in. Another point was youth, even though they are busy, they gather once a week and have prayers or community services to build their community strong. Online webinars to get youth together. Since one youth inspires the other, so that was the motive going forward, that what we do can be followed from another youth as well. Answering the third question, uh, involvement of ourselves more in church and more in local community, hence growing our church in a similar direction. With community engagement, youth need to know more about themselves and the groups within the community, since there are various group in among the youth groups with different ideologies and different aspects. So getting them together, having the like-mindedness, so they can walk towards a similar goal in the church. Again, monthly prayer meet with the elders to grow connectivity with them, so that we don't have that gap. So somehow we can bridge the gap between them in something that we find similar. Another great idea was entrepreneur commission, where funding is an issue. So youth could start their own commission with being entrepreneurs. So either even in small scale, to be self-sufficient in our own community. The fourth, answering the fourth question, more programs like SAP, that was South Asian programs, where they got to know about youth, various youth and their communities and the organizations that they work for. Another point was, since we are all working under IMCS, it's better to be aware of the other national groups first, than because it might strike an idea looking at them, or it might bring an inspiration forth. We didn't get much time for the fifth one. Again, there's a similar answer, like more programs like SAPs, that was South Asian programs, so that we connect together, we get to know about how the other organization works, and have a similar base, and inspire each other. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Nelisha, for your time and your group reflections inputs from your group discussion. So shall we have the other sharing from Southeast Asia?
Yes. Hello, everyone. I'm Deborah Zhang from South Korea, and also participate in this program like as a volunteer. What do you say, volunteer? We talking about especially what is some circumstance in South Korea. Our main purpose and our first step is building communion, because normally in Korea, young people. It's harder to find out this community, especially talking about Catholic social teaching, and also what is the mission. Because our first step is many young people get struggling in this society or some mindset, something like that, mind difficulty. So at that time, in Korea, especially young people, we needed some reconciliation with God. So at that time, this is the first step. Without the reconciliation of God, it's really harder to talking about what is some Catholic social teaching and what is a mission. It's like meaning like reaching out for marginalized people or reaching out some people who need it. But the most important before talking about that, we have to reconciliate by ourselves. So this is first step in Korea. And second thing is problem is that we have big generation gap. Like I can see many communities in Korea because we have a 10% population of Catholic. It's not too small. Yes, it's big, and also we are running by diocese. And at that time, I can see many communities who take care of refugee or who talking about some ecology or something like that. But it's just for old people. Yes, I can see many community they are cannot go wrong or keep going because no young people, nobody know about that. There are some communities like that because for a long time, for like 10 or 20 years, for a long time, like just they maintain how to keep their community. It means like just talk in their community. We don't talk each other, the other community, and we don't talk the other diocese, so just talking community. So this is some second problem. So maybe we have to like so they struggle to keep going on. So I think it's really important to expose this. We have this community and also young people can join. And so normally, basically, it's very hard to young people like they have their own opportunity or opinion, but normally in Korea, just like we have setting this goal and you have to follow this, something like that. So we have to think about how to join the young people and also young people they can how to do they want something. And last thing, the what is a concrete action is like connection. Like at first time, like we have to building some good community, like we have strong bond with each other and some trust each other, and reconciliation in that community. And from that time, after that, we can also start to talk about with the other communities. And because sometimes we can see the just sucking community and our community is the best and we have to just volunteer on my community, but it's not. We have to talk about with the other community and understand what they do, especially for God. So it's really important to making a space to understand and talk each other. And from that time, like this meeting, we can also talk about some national community like that, and also understanding now Catholic, what is the Catholic teaching in this society and what can we do as a Christian in this society? That's it. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, Deborah and the group for giving us such reflective inputs on different questions, guiding questions, and different themes that we have assigned to you. So I think we have covered all of the groups, but is there any groups that we missed? I don't think so.
Southeast Asia. Yeah, is anyone from Southeast Asia?
I think South and Northeast was together, or
No, Northeast Asia.
Okay, sorry.
Good day again, everyone. Pax et Bonum, peace and all good brothers and sisters. For the Southeast Asia region, the church key themes: care for creation, justice and human rights, youth engagement, synodality, digital culture, and global solidarity are deeply relevant yet constantly challenged by pressing realities. For our group, we feel like the environmental degradation from widespread mining, deforestation, and pollution continues to harm our common home. Justice is threatened by extrajudicial killings, corruptions, and the weakening of democratic institutions. Many young people in the region still feel unheard or sidelined in both church and civic spaces, while the vision of synodality is yet to be fully embraced in many communities. The rise of digital culture brings new opportunities for evangelization, but also exposes the region to fake news, disinformation, and online harm. In some Southeast Asian countries, Christian minorities face restriction in practicing their faith and contributing openly to the society. These challenges calls us as young Catholics to respond with the renewed commitment, creativity, and solidarity in building a church that listens, serves, and walks with all. For the question number two, for the Philippines, the young Franciscan advocates engage in ecological advocacy and serve marginalized communities. They are inclusive and of non-Catholic youth and expand membership to include young couples. Faith is shared through exposure, not conversion. For Malaysia, youth engage in synodal discussion through Pax Romana and global networks despite limited national level openness. In Sri Lanka, youth collaborate beyond religious or ethnic divisions in public initiatives that foster peace and mutual understanding. For the question number three, as young, wait up, is this correct? Yeah. For collective actions for the next 1 to 2 years, we must focus on the mission of new evangelization. Many have drifted away from the church, not out of rejection, but because no one accompanied them in a personal, meaningful way. We are called to reach out, journey with them, and help them rediscover the faith. We must also engage young people more effectively. They are not just the future, they are the present. To reach them, we believe that we need creative and youthful programs such as catechism through cartoons, animes, and digital storytellings. This makes a gospel accessible, engaging, and alive in today's culture. For the cross-border collaboration, as young Catholics in Asia, we proposed a regional exchange programs where youth from different countries can share cultures, experiences, and faith journeys. These exchanges will strengthen intercultural understanding, solidarity, and a sense of shared mission across Southeast Asia as a part of a one Catholic Church. For the recommendation for the Manila Declaration, we call for a clear and prophetic call out for government accountability on pressing social and ecological issues. Youth are deeply affected by injustices, corruption, and inequality. If governments begin to model accountability and action, more young people will feel empowered and inspired to take part in nation building and church mission. And additional to that, we believe that we must encourage youth leaders to be role models in values and service and ensure inclusion of marginalized youth from rural, indigenous, and migrant, and many more sector. That's all. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Charles, for this comprehensive input from your group. So thank you so much for your time. And then we are very much grateful towards all the groups' presentations for your reflective insights and inputs for the declarations. So this is the end of the group discussion that we have. So this was the second round of discussion. Now we will be moving towards the next segment of our forum. That's plenary section. So, and then from now onwards, I just want to hand over the space and floor to Bertha in order to facilitate the remaining segment of the floor. Thank you so much, everyone, for being so attentive.
Okay, thank you, Suman, to facilitate us moderate from the first until now. So again, a very powerful and deep sharing, also insights from from all of you during these breakout sessions through thematics and regional. And some of you has also mentioned already what should we commit together that we need to put into Manila Declaration. At the same time, some of the program or what will be the next. So this, I believe we all have the one. And as I mentioned earlier, this Manila Declaration, the Asian Catholic Youth Commitment for a Synodal Church and Jubilee Pilgrimage of Hope. This will not be a finished product, but this will be a living document for all of us to commit ourselves as a young in the church and society. And of course, it will with voices of the youth across Asia as we all come as an individual young in the region, beyond the region as well, and with our communities. So this document will be refined with your inputs, of course, whatever you have shared. And then later on, you can add until 1st of July for the inputs into the document. Let me share the screen and also share this. And so for the plenary, let's look into the draft that we have. And I would like to ask any of you voluntary to read it loudly as all of us here. And again, we all the inputs open for everyone. So the links there. We will be also sending together with the materials from yesterday's sharing to your email. And so you can see reflect again what we have been through these 2 days and put your inputs as well. So later in the paragraph, I'd like to ask anyone, you can just unmute yourself and read it out. Okay, so let me start with this. Manila Declaration, Asian Catholic Youth Commitment for a Synodal Church and Jubilee Pilgrimage of Hope, adopted at the Catholic Youth Forum, Manila, virtually 27-28 June 2025. With this table of contents, 7-point with the introductions, journey from Chiang Mai to Manila 2023 to 2025, emerging challenges and opportunities, Synodal Church with youth, call for actions, justice, peace, and care of creation, including social advocacy and campaign, Pax Jubilee actions, Synodal process, and World Youth Day, and then conclusions, and later on we'll add the reference documents as the annex. Anyone would like to continue with the sections? And all of us can listen and then we can reflect. If you have anything, you can access the link and then put your comment. You have that access. Any of our youth leader here continue with the introduction? Can I have Leo? Can you read the introductions paragraph?
Sure. No worries. We, the participants of the Manila Catholic Youth Forum, CYF, gathered in person and virtually in prayer, dialogue, and discernment from across Asia, under the theme Asian Youth Engagement for a Synodal Church, Jubilee Pilgrim of Hope. Inspired by Catholic social teaching, especially Laudato Si and Fratelli Tutti, and legacies of Pope Francis 2013 to 2025, as well as participation in the Jubilee year 2025, and Synodal process 2021 through 2024, 2025 through 2028, and preparation for the Jubilee of Youth 2025, which is July 28th through August 3rd, and World Youth Day, Seoul 2027. We offer this declaration as a reflection of our shared journey, concerns, and commitment as young Catholics in Asia. Perhaps the additioning of and the Pacific as Martin put forward might be appropriate.
Let's make like you can call upon the next one to read the second sections. Second part. Anyone in your display next to you?
Sure. Deborah.
Deborah. Okay.
Okay. The Manila Catholic Youth Forum builds upon the momentum generated by 2 international meetings held in Chiang Mai in July 2023, the Asia Pacific Council and the World Assembly of Pax Romana International Movement of Catholic Students, which also marked the launch of the International Youth Training Center, Pax Roman Laudato Si Center, Over the 2-year journey from Chiang Mai to Manila, a series of gatherings and initiatives were organized by IMCS and its partners, including IYCS, IYTC, ICMICA, and Pax Christi, to deepen youth engagement and strengthen Catholic social action across the region. Key events included the Catholic Peace Forum in Nagasaki, Rome, Geneva, and Assisi, the Catholic Civic Forum in Chiang Mai, the Chiang Mai Global Governance Forum, and the Bangkok Catholic Social Forum. This process revitalized youth dialogue and reflection on synodality and the spirit of Jubilee, and contributed to shaping a shared vision rooted in justice, peace, and care for creation. The Manila CYF aims to consolidate the outcomes of these peace and social forums as part of the regional preparation for the Rome Catholic Youth Forum, which will be held during the Jubilee of Youth in Rome from July 28 to August 3, 2025.
You may call upon others to continue.
Okay. Select the other one. Okay. Can you read Titi?
Titi, okay.
Challenges and opportunities, reading the signs of the time. We recognize the growing crisis facing our generation. The climate emergency disproportionately affects the poorest communities in Asia, with typhoons, floods, and extreme heat becoming more frequent and destructive. Escalating armed conflict, authoritarianism, and social injustice continue to threaten the dignity, safety, and participation of young people. The digital divide and exclusion of youth, especially women, indigenous peoples, and those in rural or conflict-affected areas, remain persistent barriers to engagement. Mental health challenges are increasingly affecting youth across the region, often with limited can you scroll up a bit, please? Often with limited access to care or open conversation. Shrinking civic spaces restrict the freedom of young people to express, organize, and act for justice and peace, both online and offline. Yet we also see hope in ongoing and future opportunities. The Global Church's renewed focus on synodality and youth engagement creates space for listening, dialogue, and shared mission. The Jubilee year 2025 is a kairos moment for justice, reconciliation, and a spiritual renewal rooted in Catholic social teaching. Our awakening as youth leaders, empowered by faith, solidarity, and a growing commitment to peace, justice, and ecological responsibility. The deepening sense of unity and collaboration among youth across Asia through gatherings like the Catholic Forum and international peace initiatives. The ongoing call to ecological conversion and the shared mission of implementing Laudato Si through youth-led action and advocacy. Next, I would like to pass on to Charles from Philippines.
What number are we? Number 4, right? All right. For the Synodal Church with youths, we affirm our desire for a church that listens, walks with, and empowers youth. Inspired by the Synod on Synodality 2021 to 2024, we learned that a synodal church begins with truly listening to the lived experiences, concerns, and hopes of young people, especially those from marginalized communities. Youth are not just recipients of formation, but are capable of leading, accompanying, and evangelizing others through peer to peer engagement. Contextual theology, rooted in the local realities and cultures of Asia, is essential to making the church mission relevant and exclusive. Dialogue across generations is necessary to build a church that values collaboration, mutual respect, and shared leadership. Synodality is not a one time event, but an ongoing journey that requires openness, compassion, and commitment to walking together in faith. In terms of actions, we call for inclusive participation of youth in decision-making bodies at all levels of the church and society. Support the integration of Catholic social teaching in catechesis and youth ministry, especially in the context of justice, peace, and care for creation. Encourage the creation of safe spaces for youth to share their voices, experiences, and prophetic visions, particularly those from indigenous, rural, and conflict affected communities. Promote peer accompaniment and mentoring programs that build confidence and leadership among youth. Strengthen youth formation programs that emphasize ecological conversion, nonviolence, and active citizenship. Urge church leaders and institutions to recognize and collaborate with youth-led initiatives in both spiritual and social missions. For the number 5, is Deborah done already?
Yes, she did. Can we continue? Anyone would like to continue until these sections, especially for the call for actions, and then another one will continue with social, each part, social advocacy campaign, and the next.
I can. So number 5 is call for action, justice, peace, and care of creation. Rooted in the gospel and Catholic social teaching, we commit to promote nonviolence and peace education in our schools and parishes, advocate for climate justice, ecological conversion, and Laudato's implementation, defend human rights and democracy, resisting unjust laws and systems of oppression. And the number 4 is stand in solidarity with migrants, indigenous communities, and the poor, and place to transform our lifestyles, policies, and structures. Social advocacy and campaign. We commit to amplifying the voice of Asian Catholic youth in global advocacy spaces and strengthening our role in shaping just and sustainable futures. As part of this effort, we aim to mobilize with participation and action in the following key global processes: economic justice at the UNFFD4, Fourth International Conference on Financing for Development, advocate for fair and inclusive financial system that prioritize human dignity, sustainable development, and the cancellation of unjust debts affecting the global south. Number 2 is climate justice at COP30, UN Framework Convention on Climate Change, mobilize youth to demand ambitious climate action, enforce accountability from major polluters, and promote equitable transitions toward renewable energy and ecological sustainability. Number 3 is social justice at the UN World Summit on Social Development, engage in global discussion on poverty, inequality, and social protection, advocating for policies that center on human rights, youth empowerment, and social cohesion. And number 4 is follow up to the 2024 UN Summit of the Future, Pact of the Future. Ensure that youth perspectives and commitments to peace, justice, and care for creation are integrated into the global agenda for multilateral renewal and intergenerational solidarity. Number 5, preparation for the UN Third SDG Summit in New York, September 2027. Contribute to the midterm review of the 2030 agenda by showcasing youth-led initiatives that advance the Sustainable Development Goals, especially in the areas of education, climate, and peace. So for number 2, I would like to pass to, what's there? Nelisa, are you there?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, number 2, PAX Jubilee actions. We launched the PAX Jubilee Youth Campaign in the line with Pope Francis' last message on the World Day of Peace on 1st January 2025 and the Assisi Appeal for Peace June 11, 2025. 2. Cancel the debt and advocates for economic justice. Reduce military spending and invest in life. Ban autonomous weapons and promote disarmament. Abolish the death penalty and restore human dignity, promote fossil fuel divestment and energy transition. For this first step, we aim to gather at least 300 youth organizations and 30,000 signatures by October 2025 to present to UN Second World Social Summit WSSD in Doha. Synodal process 2025 to 2027. Collaborate with FABC, OHD, OL, etc. Strengthen international cooperation for Catholic youth leadership engaged in Laudato Si and Fratelli Tutti in Asia. Create a youth office by upgrading the youth desk to enhance its capacity and work in partnership with your organizations. 4th World Youth Day Seoul 2027. To maximize the impact of World Youth Day Seoul 2027, we propose from a consortium among youth organizations engaged in justice, peace, and care of creation to organize a joint program, organize a global forum of ecumenical and interfaith dialogue with indigenous youth in cooperation with the UN and UNESCO. World Youth Day 2027 must be a witness of hope, unity, and action rooted in the struggles and dreams of Asian youth. For the 6th one, I would like to invite
Delisha, come again. You mentioned you tried to call
Ricky.
Okay, Ricky.
Conclusion.
Thanks, everyone. So in number 6, we have conclusion. We conclude the Manila Catholic Youth Forum with deep gratitude, renewed hope, and steadfast commitment. We go forth as pilgrims of hope, carrying the light of Christ into our broken world. We invite the church, government, and civil society to work with us toward a future of justice, peace, and ecological integrity in faith and solidarity. Yeah, participants of the Manila Catholic program. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you, Manila, 28 June 2025. So thank you, everyone, for those who has read it out. And for those who, we can see here, all of you have put your comment. So again, please feel free to put your inputs, especially after you reflect during the group discussions, both the breakout room based on according to the thematics area and then the regional. So we're still open for the comments until July 1st to finalize this draft for Manila declarations. Okay, with that, I would like to, as we mentioned in one of our actions here, the second one about Pax Jubilee actions, and one of the, as we initiative or we organize this, it's also one of the initiative part of our campaign. We call Pax Jubilee campaign 2025-2027. So I'd like to call William Nokrep to present to us about this campaign.
Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, so this is one of our initiative, that Pax Jubilee Campaign 2025. So this is about this implementing Pope Francis message for the world day of peace in the Jubilee year. And also this is one of our outcome documents from last year when we made private audience with Pope Francis as well. So this is just overview that this is a Global Catholic Youth Action Initiative. So Asia is one of that. So this is one of our global initiative that as you know, and this is also inspired by Pope Francis' message that, as you mentioned, that World Day of Peace, 1st January 2025, and also that we will mobilize the young Catholics, especially for peace building and global justice, that we are trying to campaign. And this campaign is aligned with Catholic social teachings and global efforts like UN Second World Summit on Social Development, November 2025. This will be in Qatar, Doha in Qatar. And this campaign's objectives to collect 300 organizational endorsement. Especially we are focusing more on now Catholic. Later we will make it inclusive with the interfaith and ecumenical as well. And we are also planning to gather this 30,000 individual signatures, especially our members. We are focusing more on Catholic youth, and submit this petition to the President of the UN General Assembly and also UN Secretary General. And we are planning to present this petition at the this World Summit on Social Development in Doha, Qatar in coming November as well. So our campaign timeline duration is 100 days period from July 20th to October 31st, 2025. This will be actually phase 1. This is a 5-year campaign, but this will be phase 1 to continue through 2030. So as you know that we have, I think most of you know that Agenda 2030, no? So this will be our contribute to a just, peaceful and sustainable post 2030 agenda. And our thematic area is, as you know, that 2024 it was artificial intelligence and peace, and 2025 is a 3 global appeals: that debt cancellation, death penalty abolition, and disarmament. So our we have 7 core actions of the campaigns. So there's one is cancel the debt now. So this will be our demand: immediate and unconditional cancellation of unsustainable global south debts that is, as we are facing now. And also tax the super rich, so we will be promoting this global tax justice, in the same time advocate for equitable redistribution of wealth, And third is end of the use of fossil fuels, that push for a rapid transition to renewable energy, and also uphold climate justice. Our fourth demand is abolish the death penalty, that campaign for universal abolition of capital punishment. So this is fourth, and fifth is reduce military spending, invest. This is, as you know, that military spending in everywhere in globally, and this is also another headache for our global peace movement as well. So this is we will be focusing more on invest in life, especially the reallocate military budgets to essential service like health. No, yesterday it was some of the groups, not some of the, I think most of the groups, they were discussing about the health, no, health, quality education, and climate action as well. So this is in our fifth that we are promoting more on that invest in life and ban killer robots. As you know that the people using, especially different countries, developed countries, they're using robot, this AI robotic for weapons that support a global ban on lethal autonomous weapons, no, that promote international regulations as well. And lastly, ratify and implement the TPNW, that this is a treaty on the prohibition of nuclear weapons and work toward to a nuclear free world. So these are our Pax Jubilee campaigns that we are trying to promote and work within 100 days, and we will be, this is phase first, and we'll be continuing until 2030, and also we will be working on post 2030 agenda as well to continue this Pax Jubilee campaign. Yes, thank you very much.
Thank you, William, for the presentation about Pax Jubilee campaign. And now, okay, I can see some of the comment in the chat box, Zoom chat box. So as we all have the access to the link, you may go there and then put your comments into the Manila declarations. And then this can be also endorsed by your organizations and even at the community level. So as we move into the actions, I'll be sharing the link into chat box for you to access, and then put some of might be the events that you have from your organizations that we need to include, or we can join together. So one of our activity, some point we have put here, it's around 23. And then we will see, or you can also edit how we can contribute together as a global, regional, national, and local. So start January 2025, IMCS and IYTC together with Pax Christi, we organize, or we have our monthly online peace prayer. It's every 6th and 9th of the month. This is a prayer for the bombing in Nagasaki and Hiroshima. And then, so feel free to join us. This is a as an individual, you can also bring your friends or the networks from your community or your organizations and institution. And then we have the Pax Jubilee 2025 declarations that we have sent in to the bishops, start from Asia and the Pacific, and then the other regions in the world. And as mentioned, we are going to organize events during the Jubilee of Youth in Rome. So if you are coming together with your diocese or then the parish, or even your organization and institution, let us know, so how we can also together be part of this Jubilee of Youth. And we have this Hiroshima and Nagasaki youth pilgrims on August 6 to 9. So the information you may find also in our social media and website, but later on we'll send as we have your email list. And every September 21 to October 2nd, the Catholic Church celebrate the Non-Violence Actions Day. So this celebrate the Non-Violence Actions Day. So we can have a collective organized campaign or program, or campaign together as a collective group. And then upcoming July 16, we are going to have this Catholic Peace Forum. It's virtually, so feel free to join this forum. And during the UN HLPF in New York, this will be Hybrid Catholic Social Forum on July 20. And yes, you all may have your also join or celebrate the World Youth Day every in November. It's usually 23rd, 24th of the month for the World Youth Day at the diocese and national level. So share with us. Feel free. The link I have shared in the chat box. Feel free to put there any of the like the dates, especially, and if it's global or regional or national and local, for us to join together. And then World Day of Peace every January 1, so we can join into the webinar, reflect on the message from the Pope, as what we did this year and then last year as well from IYTC, the International Youth Training Center. And then World Youth Day, upcoming World Youth Day in Seoul, August 2027. We will be sharing this soon about the Youth Summit or program during the World Youth Day. It will be the interfaith and ecumenical. It has, I think, mentioned in the declaration as well as in the campaign or that William just shared. And as we share about the climate crisis, so as a students movement and youth from IYTC, we usually have we organize something campaign and also some organize an event during the Earth Day. So feel if you also in your organizations or you want as an individual to be part of this, mark here in this section. So we'll be sharing or you can be part of this. And then World Environment Day every June 5 as youth, we can organize something as well together. And every August 12, we celebrate this UN International Youth Day. And Indigenous Peoples Month, it will be on every August. So from IYTC, I got to know they are going to organize an event during this month. So you can all be part of, and then or we can co-organize together this campaign or organize a program together. And September 21, it's the International Day of Peace. Human Rights Day on December 10. Let us know any organizations you are from, that you have anything or any plan for this, especially for 2025. Feel free again to fill out here in this document so that we can check and then we can communicate and organize together. And then again, World Day of Peace, upcoming January 1st. And we have during the Lenten season, so from IMCS last Lenten season 2025, we have what we call the Pax Jubilee Challenge, where everyone who's joining this challenge during the Lenten season, they share, they have a time 10 days, so there are 4 rounds, 10 days to read either the Gospel or the Catholic social teaching. And then there's a platform for them to share their reflections after every rounds. So you may also join, or let's think of how we can make together as a collective group in the regions. And then April 21 is the commemoration for the death of Pope Francis. And upcoming September, every September 1 to October 4th is the season of creation. So you may also have the activity at the diocese level or even at the national level, or in your community or organization. We can have it together. We usually have the campaign on these days where we share how the climate crisis or impact happening in the country, the different country at this local and the grassroots level. And then as we start this tax Jubilee year, Jubilee year. So earlier this year, January to February, we had our Catholic Youth Leadership Academy, the training, the program that for 11 days, where the youth is not only the Catholic students but youth. They come together for this program for 11 days, reflect on the gospel and Catholic social teaching, and how we can they can practice it as a personal organization back then in their country or local community. And we have also the Youth for Peace Essay and Action Challenge. This is like a competitions online. So everyone, last World Day of Peace, January 1st, where Pope Francis message on that, we used we launched this white page, but the participants, they are reflect on the message of Pope Francis, and then they make it into essay. So either they write an essay or they come up with, we are in the digital era. So they come into the social media campaign, from their platforms, but also come with the idea to have the direct actions in the local level. So these are the activity. This actually has been also shared since yesterday during the opening remarks. I have also put theirs to remind everyone. And again, I have shared the link. So if you and your group have some activity during these days, or any days that we missed here, that as a Catholic youth or as a young people we can contribute together, you can feel free to put here into this strategic youth action plan. And yes, if you have anything to comment on this, again, this is open for everyone to put your inputs. I can see your sharing in the chat box. So yes, this will be from my side to again facilitate from Manila Declaration that we are still open until July 1st for your inputs. Leave your comment there. And this youth action plan, kindly add as well for whatever the initiative that we can do together. Thank you. Over to Suman.
Okay, hello. Thank you, Bertha, for this plenary and strategic roadmap that we have under IMCS and in close collaboration with International Youth Training Center and PAX Christi. So yeah, thank you everyone for your time today, and then especially your participation for the Catholic Youth Forum here in Manila. So we hope and then we believe that we will have more reflection, more inputs on this declaration that we are drafting from your end after we have all this discussion. So yeah, as Bertha has mentioned already, you have been given the access to give your comments and give your reflections. Please stay tuned with us, and then we will be providing you the final draft once it's ready. But before that one, we welcome all of your inputs until July 1st. Then we're finalizing the draft and then sharing the declaration with you all through email and other platforms that we will be connecting with you. So yeah, thank you everyone for your time, your attention, your reflections, your inputs, and for everything, and being in the part of this global solidarity, this regional forum that we have. So thank you everyone. And then before we close this meeting, may I request all of you to please turn on your videos so that we can have good quality photos.
Okay, so as Suman mentioned, the good quality photo only when you turn on your camera. Okay. Come, everyone, you still have time to turn on your camera. Bayu, Martin, and Maria.
And technical team from IYTC, please let us know when you are ready to take pictures or just give some gestures to us.
Okay. For Martin, Maria and Bayu, if you can't turn on your camera, just press reaction, any reaction, but I prefer the heart reaction, meaning you are peace with us. Okay, so I'll count into 1, 2, 3, and then you all can say peace. Okay. All right. So 1, 2, 3, peace. Okay, one more. Maybe now I can freestyle. Okay, wait, let me save this one. Okay, wait. You may change your style. Okay, so once more, this is freestyle, okay? 1, 2, 3. All right. Thank you, everyone. Can we have someone to lead us into closing prayer? You can pray in your own language, in your mother tongue, or any language you would like to pray with. Deborah, can you lead us? You can use Hanguk.
오케이.
Okay.
성부와 성자와 성령의 이름으로 네. 주님, 오늘 이 자리에 저희를 모두 이렇게 초대해 주심에 너무 감사드립니다. 저희 시민들, 특히 저희 아시아 청년들의 한 걸음 한 걸음 들여서 저희가 정말 예수님의 사랑을 정말 이 세상 사람들과 함께 걸어갈 수 있도록 용기를 주시고 끝까지 걸어가는 안에서 항상 당신의 사랑을 전달할 수 있도록 도와주세요. 우리 주 그리스도를 통하여 비나이다. 아멘. 성부와 성자와 성령의 이름으로.
Amen. Thank you, everyone. Bye-bye.
바이바이.
Bye, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye bye.